If you've ever thought about running an Airbnb or switching a rental from a standard tenancy, here's what I wish someone had told me about 12 months ago. I've made mistakes, I've found smarter ways of doing things, and I've learned a lot of lessons that have completely changed the way that I manage properties. Whether you're a new host or a landlord considering short let, this will save you time, money, and a few headaches. Hi, my name's George. I run a serviced accommodation or Airbnb business here in the UK, mainly hosting professionals and contractors. It's been just over a year since I started and I've learned a lot. I want to share the biggest lessons that changed the way that I run things and how we now manage properties for landlords who want better returns without all the hassle. Lesson number one, contractors are the dream guest. Out of every type of guest that stayed with us, by far the best has been contractor. They're out working all day, so they only really use the property at night and in the evenings when they come back to have a bit of a relax. And a lot of times they don't really have high expectations or demands or anything. They just want somewhere clean, quiet, and practical to stay. And we've even had contractors who fixed small issues around the house for us, whether it be a fuse that's gone or anything like that. So actually, they can do some of the work for you. In order to attract the contractors, though, you need to make sure you've got a few things within your property. Number one's normally parking. So they do prefer driveway parking or off-street parking just because it's more secure most of the time. Realistically, if it's on-street parking and it's quite a busy road, they don't want to be traipsing or leaving their van halfway down the street, again, with all the tools in. So driveway, off-street parking, normally for one or two vans. Second one is having plenty of bathrooms. Normally, if you've got 4 or 5 contractors in one property, in the mornings, they're not going to want to share one bathroom. And if they are, it can get a little bit crowded. So having multiple bathrooms is definitely a plus. The third one is having a fully kitted out kitchen. Now, this is a big thing for all service accommodation, is often why people prefer staying in it over a hotel, is that you've got a fully kitted out kitchen so that you can do your own cooking, meal prep, anything like that. And often it saves them a lot of money rather than having to eat out or get delivery all the time. And the final one is just having a nice, comfortable living room. Again, it's another thing that service accommodation can provide that a hotel can't in terms of a nice sofa, TV, smart TV. The one thing that they probably do within the evening is just switch off and relax. So having a nice comfortable space to do that. And again, making sure that there's enough seating for the amount of people that are staying. So if you've got a 4 or 5 bed house, but you've only got a small 2-seater sofa, you're going to probably have a bit of a problem. So making sure there's plenty of seating and comfortable seating within the living area. We also offer more competitive monthly and longer stay rates. There's fewer changeovers and just overall less hassle. And this is why they are the best type of guests to have. Lesson number 2 is you don't have to accept every single booking. Early on when I first started, I felt quite bad about turning guests down or potential revenue that I might be making. But again, sometimes you just get a gut feeling with certain bookings, whether it's a certain request they've had. I've had guests ask if they can bring a hot tub or a jacuzzi and have a company come and set up. I've had people ask if they can have a quiet gathering. Again, spoiler alert, it's never quiet. Is it really worth the hassle? I'd much rather leave the calendar open than have to deal with all the stress and hassle and costs of a short-term guest. We don't offer one-night stays in order to sort of not attract these types of guests, so parties and short stays and stuff. So we want those longer term stays because it's just less hassle, less changeovers, less issues. Another big thing when we're managing properties for landlords is prioritizing quality over quantity. Lesson number 3, make it livable, not just Instagrammable. A nice looking listing definitely gets you more bookings, but it's the comfy bed that gets you the 5-star reviews. Now, one thing someone told me before I got started was make sure you don't cut any corners with bedding, mattresses or anything like that, because often those are the things that are going to get you those 5-star reviews. And again, a property that looks good but is not that comfortable to stay in, people aren't going to return. So what's the point? Again, you want those 5-star reviews. Yes, obviously you want to make sure the listing looks good. You want to make sure it stands out on the OTAs, Airbnb, booking.com. But at the same time, you need to remember your guests have to live in this space. Particularly if you're targeting those longer term guests, they're going to want a comfortable bed if they're staying there for 2, 3, 6 months or whatever it is. And that's why we always design ours with comfort in mind and making sure that we make it more of a home just rather than a aesthetic look. Now, that is still an important thing, so we still want to make sure it stands out online. Lesson number 4, over-explain everything. Now, we provide guests with welcome packs, check-in instructions on all the usual major sort of things that they need to know how to use, whether that's the thermostat or whether it's the washing machine. But what I started to realise is that sometimes you need to factor in the things that you presume guests might know how to do. You'd be surprised how many guests don't know how to use a lockbox. They don't know how to lock a PVC door. Now, being from the UK, locking a PVC door, you lift the handle and then turn the key. Now, I didn't realise until I had a guest phone me up who was from America that they didn't know how to lock one of these doors. Until you have that experience, you don't know what needs to be told. So again, it's made me realise that pointing out things that might seem obvious to me or to people in the UK, we do often get people from abroad and different countries, so it can be different in terms of what people are used to using. So what it's made us realise is providing the guests with as much information as possible should they need it. So whether that's video guides, text guides, walkthroughs, everything that can basically show them and basically reduce the friction of having to contact us. Realistically, if they can go through a guide and see how to lock the door or turn the heating on or turn the washing machine on, it just makes their whole experience a lot better. That's going to improve your 5-star reviews and everything. Lesson number 5, price backwards. Now this one's a big one, particularly if you're looking for those longer term contractor stays. You need to have a good long-term pricing strategy. Now the easiest way of working this out is totaling up all your expenses, so your rent or your mortgage payments, your energy bills, your Wi-Fi, if you're adding a cleaning fee in for the month as well. Then all you need to decide is how much profit you want to make per month. Now, if this is £1,000 or £800, just stick that on top of what your expenses are. So, for example, if your expenses come to £2,000 and you want to make £1,000 profit, then your total price is going to be £3,000. Now, what that allows you is to be more competitive with those contractors and really attract them for those longer term stays. Now, the one thing that we've embraced over this year is this. Every issue is an opportunity to improve. If a guest gets confused, great, we add it to the welcome pack. If someone's asking if the property has a certain amenity, if it has this, if it has that, then we might need to tweak our listing. And sometimes you'll just have stupid guests. But what it does is it allows us the opportunity to see, is it something that we can improve with our system? Can we make it more obvious? Can we make their experience better? We're always refining this guest experience to make sure that we can keep those standards throughout every single stay and to make sure that we get those 5-star reviews. And those improvements are now feeding directly into the properties that we manage for our landlords to make sure that the guests that stay in their properties are giving those top reviews. So therefore the guests are happy and so are the landlords. So that's a wrap on our first year. And these lessons are the foundation to how we manage our properties now. Now, if you're a landlord who's tired of tenant issues, repairs, void period, and you want a more hands-off, higher income approach, we help landlords turn their rentals into hands-off, high cash flowing, short stays, fully managed. If you want to find out more, then click the link in the description or feel free to drop me a message and I'll be happy to help.